Many of us know someone who is struggling with some sort of addiction that's negatively impacting that life, and very likely the lives of many other family members. Now, one of the recovery programs that's been having a lot of success has a centre right here in Lethbridge. It's called the Fresh Start Recovery Centre, and we're pleased to be joined by the group's operations manager, Tony Kokol. Tony, welcome to Bridge City News.
Thank you.
Now, what is Fresh Start Recovery really all about? What is it that you guys offer?
Our Start Recovery is, we have two centers, one in Calgary, one here in Lethbridge. We have a 30-year history, and what we are is a long-term residential men and women's treatment center. We primarily deal with drugs and alcohol. We have a 14 to 16 program.
So who do you think really should be coming to your centre for help, not just here, but in Calgary as well?
Everyone that's affected, every adult. We are an adult-based center, and every adult that deals with drugs or alcohol is more than welcome at our center.
You know, Tony, there are many recovery programs across the country. What really sets yours apart from other programs?
I think it's our culture. It's our culture that we've created over 3 decades of, and it's one of compassion and empathy and understanding. We come to the table with lived experience, which allows us to understand, I think, at a deeper level. But we also come to the table with academia, with knowledge of many modalities of treatment. And we do a very comprehensive assessment when the individual arises and try to deliver a client-based service for that individual's needs.
Now, obviously, you have programs to help different persons' individual needs. What about First Nations cultures? How can you really be sensitive to their needs too?
Well, being cognizant of their needs first, it's a sense of awareness of what their needs are and their where they come from and who we have as a client, you know. And again, it's very client-centered. When an individual comes, what we'll do is we've broken up the recovery process into 12 major life areas, and we'll set goals in those major life areas. We believe in forward movement more than just the drugs or alcohol. That's a given. Every treatment center will get you make forward movement with the drugs and alcohol. We believe recovery in all areas of our life, and we'll set goals such as employment or legal or housing or cultural or spiritual. And it's in those categories, those major life areas, we will sit with the individual and they will derive the goals that they want to move forward with. And this is where our team will sit with the individual and assist that individual on moving forward with the goals that they see fit and that will complement their recovery. So it's very much what the individual wants. We will cater to their needs and assist them to reconnect with their culture or the religion or whatever they deem fit for their well-being.
Now, Tony, you battled addictions yourself, and you know firsthand about the challenges and struggles of battling those addictions. Can you share a bit about your story and your journey?
Yes, I'm an alumni of the center myself. Back in 2008, I came through the center. I was myself wrapped up into the drug culture for 3-4 years prior to cleaning up. I was homeless. I used to work in the oil field. I was very successful. I was a tool pusher, a rig manager on a rig for close to 12 years. I consulted, and my drug use ultimately led me to homelessness and to loss of everything that was actually dear to me. Everything that was dear to me, I ended up losing. And I ended up in prison and ended up at the doors of Fresh Start and found a place that accepted me when no one else would. And was willing to work with me and get me back on track. You know, get me back to a point where I had the confidence and the support to transition back into the community. You know? And I'm very passionate about the program because I know it works. It's an easy sell for me because I've seen it, I've lived it, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people embrace this program and be able to go back into the community, be able to go back to their family, be able to step back into those roles of father, of son, of mother, of sister.
Everybody has a different rock bottom in their lives before they decide, you know what, I need to seek help and reach out to somebody because I want to turn my life around. Was prison the rock bottom for you?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was profound for me. It was only until I was there that I realized the tragedies that that occurred in my life and the things that I've done to the people around me. It was that time of sitting at that bottom, and I didn't get to escape it. I didn't get to move forward. I had to sit in there and you know, sitting in that place of solitude and incarceration made me. I was forced to look at what I did to the people around me, and the realization that I was alone, realization that I ended up in a place where society put me that, you know, they didn't want me back, and that was a huge eye opener where I was faced with either embracing that lifestyle or moving forward and getting back into the stream of life, and I chose life, you know, and thank God that there is agencies and supports out in the community that can assist an individual to move forward if they're willing to do that.
What happened with your friends and family? Did many people abandon you, or did they stick by your side through the whole process?
No, at the end of it, by the time I cleaned up, I was 46 or 47, and you know, the nature of addiction is very self-centered. It's I heard a phrase once is it's not a spectator sport. The whole family gets to play, and because it's such a self-centered disease, I broke a lot of hearts, and I abused a lot of relationships, and I lied, I cheated, I stole, I did these things, and a lot of the friends just had to walk away. It was intolerable behavior, and my family, you know, they had to turn their backs too, basically to protect themselves, you know. And I ended up at a place where all alone, you know. I think with the family it was more tough love. I think with friends, a lot of them were just fed up, and I know that is because 15 years later, these relationships are back in my life, and I've been able to speak with my family members and friends and talk about what they experienced during that time, and I don't blame them whatsoever. I think they were more tolerable than I probably would have been. It's how do you want someone that you love slowly kill themselves and throw away their lives without being affected?
Now, at Fresh Start Recovery, there's a family healing program for clients. Tony, how does that work?
Yeah, that's correct. We have a family healing program. It's not only for our clients; it's more directed to the parents, or to the children, or to the wives, or to the husbands. So it is a family disease, and everybody gets affected. And one of the family members will take blame, or they won't know how to deal with it, or they'll enable. And what the family healing program does is allow the family members to heal as well. It's great in that sense that the whole family as a unit has to heal to get well. As the addict is on his journey, and as he takes that road and slowly descends, the family feel that, and they have a tendency to embrace certain behaviors. And the program, family healing program, will gently taps the family individuals on the shoulders and you know, puts forth to them some of these traits that they may have been embracing, and some of their thinking that may be incorrect, and to set them on a healthy place where they're still supportive, but they're not blaming or they're not enabling the client, and allows them to take care of themselves and to get well.
So, Tony, from your experience, how much of a part does our spiritual and our physical health really play in recovery?
It's huge. It's huge. Uh, one of the premises of treatment, of recovery, is that they'll break it up, just to simplify it, they'll break it up into four areas of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So if that's 100%, each of those categories own 25%. However, the spiritual component is at the center of that, of those percentages, and everything revolves around that. And it's the spirit inside of us. That spirit is we need to take care of. And is that spirit inside of the individual? Is it confident? Is it full of love? Is it empathetic? Is it caring? Is it confident? Or is it blaming? Is it insecure? Is it broken? Is it traumatized? And that spiritual piece also is connecting to something greater than us. Whether that's family, whether that's God, whether that's our creator, that's left up to the individual. But it's connecting to something to rely on and for support and for influence. We need those positive influences back in our lives. We need the mentors, the sponsors, good, positive, loving influences. And that's really a huge premise of recovery, is to reach out and to find good, positive influence, loving influences, to nurture that spirit within ourselves, and that ability, that spirituality, where, because the disease is so self-centered, we get so wrapped up about ourselves, we turn our backs on those that we love and the community and our friends. And that spirituality is being able to connect and be in tune with those around us, and starting to become cognizant of their behaviors and how we affect them, and making those around us a priority, and realizing that it's very important, the thoughts and the feelings of everybody around us.
So, what has your success rate been like with clients who beat their addictions? How often do people maybe backslide and go back to their old way of living?
Well, that's a hard question. We have a group completion, people that come to our center and complete. We're around 75, 80%. But you can't even quote me on that. I don't know the exact stat. We do reporting monthly and quarterly, and of course those numbers will change too. So I can't give you an exact, but it's about 75 to 80%. And then, it depends on the measurement, right? And it depends on the amount of people. So I know, if we were to go for a year, or do we go to 5 months? And the measurement itself, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I mean, if we're only looking at 2 people and 1 fail, my measurement would be 50%. But I'm looking, what are the stats we're pulling from? I can tell you that our measurement, I'd be safe to be pretty accurate in saying that the people that come through our program and complete our 16-week program, we have a 70 to 80% success rate.
That's great, Tony. We only have a few short moments left here, but I wanted to ask you, how should someone go about applying to join the program?
They would just phone. They would just have to Google Fresh Start Recovery Center, look on that site, and get the phone number, phone the center, do an over-the-phone intake. From there, our client support workers will meet with them over the phone, gather their information, and from there, we just ask them to call in to keep in touch. They get put on a wait list, and we'll bring them in when the time is right and when the bed is available.
Tony Kokol is the operations manager at Fresh Start Recovery Centre, based here in Lethbridge and in Calgary. Tony, thanks so much for joining us today from Lethbridge.
Thank you, sir.